ASEAN Dailies. First and foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hello and welcome back to Jalan ASEAN. You're with Gowri today.
And Grace at ASEAN Dailies.
Of course, and this is where we bring you news from all over Southeast Asia, as well as some important news from other parts of the world as well. And our ASEAN Daily is every day from Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock. So if you want to keep abreast of all Southeast Asian issues, don't forget to listen to us every day, Monday to Friday at 8 o'clock. So for today, before we kick off our discussion, how are you feeling, Grace?
Very good, in fact, and I can't wait the Friday to be over because weekend is just tomorrow.
Of course, Friday is the hardest day for everyone to actually keep working and not think about the weekends. But we do have to work today, and we have some very interesting news to kick off the morning, which is about NASA's announcement last night that they might have found another planet Earth in the corner of the Milky Way.
In fact, this is very exciting news because human beings, we have been researching over and over again just to see any possibilities out there in space, whether there will be another planet that human beings can live. And especially after the announcement of global warming and all these pollutions are going on, the Earth, perhaps the lifespan of our Earth is just getting shorter and shorter. So perhaps this could be a very exciting news, and hopefully this brings a more positive news to our human beings here. But NASA announced another picture and also announced that there could be another planet. It looks like another Earth.
That's right, and I think all this while we were not sure if there would ever be another planet like Earth, because we know that whatever that's before planet Earth is actually too close to the sun, and you might just burn out, and whatever that's after planet Earth is too cold and is not suitable for human beings or animals or whatever living things. But from their Kepler mission, which is actually hunting for other habitable planets around the Milky Way, they actually managed to find this new planet, which they are calling the Earth 2.0. And there was a massive celebration yesterday on the internet. And I think everyone is pretty excited to see where this thing can go. I mean, there's another planet which is actually conducive to living beings.
Right.
So we don't know. There could already be things or people or whatever living there already, and we're not the only ones in this galaxy.
And this is amazing how science bring us the sort of news they know, they make excite us. At the same time, the planet, it's named the Kepler 186f, is 500 light years away and orbits and a red dwarf star in the constellation Cygnus in our corner of the Milky Way. And like you mentioned before, it's not impossible to visit the planet, but then we'll see how it goes like, because it's so far away, about like over nearly 3,000 trillion miles away. So we'll see whether spaceship can actually carry human beings to travel all the way to the another planet.
Of course, there's a different issue altogether.
Yep.
And just before we move on, I just want to give a little facts about the Kepler mission, that it actually spent more than 2,000 days in space trying to explore other planets. And so far, it has confirmed more than 1,000 confirmed exoplanets, as well as 8 small habitable zone exoplanets, and it was launched back in March 7, 2009. So I think it's great news for everyone at NASA for working so hard to look for another planet. And like I said, everyone's pretty excited too, and we'll definitely wait for further developments about this and see where do we come from, where are we going, what's the future of solar system. There are a lot of questions that still need to be answered, of course. And moving on to China. it has been a bit annoyed by Myanmar for jailing their people in light of illegal logging that has been happening.
And then again, this is something to do with the illegal activities, so-called. And of course, China is not happy and also expressed its concern after the country, Myanmar, handed long jail sentences for more than about 150 Chinese nationals for illegal logging. And then this has sparked outrage in the Chinese state-run media, and it comes after the loggers were arrested in about January this year during crackdown on illegal forestry activities in northern Kachin state.
And it seems that for years and years, China has actually been up at Myanmar for once abundant raw materials, and this also sort of spurred anger, which was actually quite popular. Everyone knew about this in the of course the junta ruled country, which is set for general election later this year. And Beijing has also asked for its smaller neighbor to deal with this case in a lawful and reasonable manner, and this was said by their foreign ministry spokesman in a statement. And there's another Myanmar court official who is not named, but he also told the news agency on Wednesday that at least 150 Chinese loggers have been jailed for illegal logging. And it's very tricky because, you know, the close proximity of China and Myanmar. And, of course, China being the big, powerful country that it is, we know it's kind of notorious for causing little troubles here and there. And I think this time it's with Myanmar that it thought that it could just get away with this illegal logging. But Myanmar is, although it's a very small country, I don't think it's a country to mess with, because they just came forward and said that we are not dealing with this, China, and if we find more people in illegal logging, we're just going to put them behind bars. And a few cases actually of Chinese engaging in illegal business. This is not the first time, and this is one of the reasons why Myanmar has gotten a bit fed up with the way China has been behaving. And although Beijing was Myanmar's closest ally during its military rule a few years back, and also sort of providing it with some international protection, and also as a lifelong trading partner, but I think that the fact that China overstepped the line caused a lot of strain between the relationship with China and Myanmar. And of course, logging in Myanmar exploded as under the country's former junta, as the ruling generals tossed aside sustainable forestry practices. So it's also the government here that is to blame for the lax security or police forces, that they have not been protecting their forest very well.
For sure. I mean, having this Myanmar as the one of the closest ally, I mean, during the military rule, of course, but now we are all aware that Myanmar is heading to have this government transition from military rule to democratic system. So perhaps there are some clashes between China and Myanmar when it comes to government system. However, hope that, I mean, they both expressed that they are hoping to have a positive relationship further on. But in regards to this illegal logging, it's a huge problem. It may seem quite a minor issues here, but then they also need to find out the cause of illegal logging. Why Myanmar, or the people from Myanmar come to China for this kind of business there, and then of course they will contribute a little to the economic growth. However, how far can it go, and where are the mechanism or policies behind all this?
That's right, and we hope that the relationship between Myanmar and China will get better, because China already has sort of two enemies in the region, and we don't want them to make more enemies. Try to make more friends with the ASEAN countries. So we will take a very quick break, and when we come back, we will talk. We'll put the spotlight on Indonesia.
Sure.
ASEAN Dailies. First and foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hello and welcome back to Jalan ASEAN. You're listening to Gowri.
And Grace.
And this is our ASEAN Daily where we bring you news from all over Southeast Asia. And this time we would like to shift the spotlight to Indonesia and some upcoming elections that they're having later this year in December. So President Jokowi actually announced during a meeting that he has started preparations for the regional elections, which is set to take place later this year.
So he has discussed the preparations that it made for the simultaneous regional head elections, and that they are scheduled to be held in December this year, of course, and then it will be held smoothly and safely on December 9th to be exact. And he wants to report on the progress made since their last discussion, which was just 6 months ago. And Indonesia, in fact, the nation is set to hold us 269 regional head elections simultaneously on December 9, including 9 gubernatorial elections and 224 district head elections and 36 mayoral elections as well.
That's so quite a bit of an election going on.
And Indonesia is a huge nation, and of course it's not so surprised, but then to count every single elections, and also they are to be held on the December 9th. Perhaps December 9th will mark one of the huge mark in history.
Yes, I mean, we're talking about, I think, at least close to 300 or more than that, more than 300 elections that will be taking place, and it's all happening simultaneously as well at the same time. And on July 13, about 4 months before the elections, the Supreme Audit Agency had reported to the Parliament that 10 results of its review of the planned implementation of the elections, and the head of state hopes that the registration process for candidates will be smooth and safe, and it will actually be beginning late July, which is this month, and especially those standing for regional head positions. He hopes that they will complete their registration process and start campaigning for the elections and do it the legit way. And apart from that, we also have Indonesian Minister, Social Affairs Minister, calling for improving of child protection in the country. And this is in line with the National Child Day, which is commemorated on July 23rd. And she said that this should serve as a momentum to comprehensively rectify the implementation of child protection in the country. Of course, her name is Kofifa Indar Parawansa, who is the Social Affairs Minister for Indonesia.
Well, when it comes to child protection, it also relates to the maid, having maid at home as well, because there are a lot of cases in Indonesia that are child abused by the home assistants or workers. And also when it comes to family, they are not aware of what's really happened in the family, even at home. So this existing child protection law mentioned that child protection should be carried out by the community, families, and particularly parents as well. And the parents are really responsible for protecting their children socially, psychologically, spiritually, and intellectually, of course. And here where we can also talk about education and also how we nurture the children. And of course, children, they spend less time at school than home, and it's really important for them to monitor them what's wrong and what's right and what's protected and what all these children are going through. And it is very important for the parents to know first, and also other institutions, including local administration.
And I think child protection is a very important issue to be resolved in a country. Definitely not just in Indonesia. This is a worldwide issue that every country in the world can relate to. Even in Malaysia, there was a point of time when we just had children being kidnapped one after another, and there were posters everywhere trying to look for these children, and the government were making pleas to the parents, please monitor your child, take care of your child, know where they are, know who they're with, because once the child is kidnapped, you may never see them again, because we know that human trafficking is such a huge issue right now, and their body parts can be easily sold for profits, their kidneys, for heart transplant. There are so many things that the smugglers are hungry for.
Right.
And of course, as this official also said, that children spend less time at school than at home.
Yep.
But I think that they probably spend an equal time, actually. Some students even probably spend more time in school or doing school-related work. And I think that the responsibility should lie with both the teacher and the parents, not just the parents, because at the end of the day, the kids are there at the school to learn about these things. And it's also quite heavily falls on the teacher's shoulder to actually teach the child also ways to protect themselves, or come up with some security questions, or teach them how to spot someone who is suspicious looking and whatnot, and try to stay as safe as possible.
This leads to educate the teachers as well as parents as well, not only the children. Well, I think we're talking about the children different at different ages here. They can be between 4 to 6 or even older than that. But when we talk about the school, of course, children, they start the school about at the age of 4. So it is really important to have policies when they are in school, when they're at home, or where they're at the other institutions. I mean, the protection law needs to be made for children, because that regards to human rights and also prevention of the future crime. So it is very important for all of them to be educated when it comes to child protection.
Definitely. And another country that we are going to highlight before you wrap it up is Cambodia. Apparently, Cambodia is seeking to be a mediator between ASEAN and China. And when we speak of ASEAN and China, I think it's pretty obvious what issue we're talking about here. Of course, it's the South China Sea issue that still not yet resolved. And Cambodia will actually seek to be a mediator between the disputes between China and ASEAN countries, and this was confirmed by their foreign minister Ho Nam Hong on Wednesday.
It looks like when it comes to South China Sea, it is almost impossible for it to resolve unless one nation or whole community take over. And here the problem is China is getting stronger and stronger when it comes to South China Sea issue. I mean, we've reported a few times before that China has already built its own properties on their land and to mark that it's their territory. However, where is ASEAN voice here? I mean, we've been talking about it, and then the neighboring countries have been voicing about issues over South China Sea, but where's the actual actions? Where's the whole this execution when it comes to South China Sea? It looks like I really hope that ASEAN does not lose this beautiful territory just by this really strong economic nation, which is China.
I think you made a very good point there about where is the voice of ASEAN, and how long are we going to take to resolve this issue, because it's also not reflecting so well on us that it's taking us so long to resolve this issue that we're facing. And that's where I think Cambodia actually made a very good move by stepping in to say that they can be the mediator, because China and Cambodia do have a very good relationship, and they're close to each other. They are trading partners, and they've worked together on so many occasions. And China has also actually maintained that the issue should be solved bilaterally and not between ASEAN, not negotiated with ASEAN at a block. They were quite clear about that from the start, actually. But why exactly, we don't know for sure. They have their own reasons. But then again, like I said, this is where Cambodia can actually make something happen, given that they are in ASEAN, and they also have this very good relationship with China. And if there's one person who can, one country that can reduce the tense atmosphere between these two blocks, I think that country will definitely have to be Cambodia. And they are going to try to get China into a dialogue with ASEAN. I think that's still the way that we prefer to do it, because Vietnam and Philippines have both not been too happy with the way China has been dealing things. Especially Philippines recently, they started working closely with Japan as well in terms of their military preparations. Just to maybe intimidate China as well. So that's not good for us. And well, hopefully Cambodia's close relationship with China will provide a change here for the better, and we hope to hear more positive developments regarding the South China Sea issue.
For sure.
So we are going to take another short break. When we come back, we will shift to the business and economy side of Southeast Asia.
ASEAN Dailies. First and foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hello and welcome back to Duran ASEAN on our ASEAN Daily for this Friday morning. You're listening to Gowri
and Grace.
And we are back to bring you more news from Southeast Asia, this time with a focus on the business and economic side. But before we go to Southeast Asia, we are going to talk about something tragic that happened in the US, but because it involves IKEA, which is pretty much located all over the world. They actually issued a safety alert because of a popular chest of drawers that killed 2 children when the furniture toppled on them.
Yes, and this is quite a tragic news. And IKEA is one of the biggest branch when it comes to furniture. And the people who own the IKEA chest of drawers have been urged to secure them to the wall after 2 children were crushed and died in the USA. And they were only age 2 and 23 months, and they were just playing around and until when the chest actually toppled on them, so it ended up killing them. So of course it was reported, and then also as a result of the investigation, in IKEA is offering free wall fixing kits for 7 million of its highly popular chess and also 20 million other products as well. So that's their the compensation they have come up with. But then, to be honest, IKEA is very well known for having affordable furniture, but then with the good quality. But then with this news, the credibility among the consumers seem to be a bit reducing. That's why IKEA has come up with another solution to overcome these issues.
And Gerard Boss, who is the IKEA from IKEA UK, has said that product safety and quality are actually the top priorities for IKEA, and the tip over incident is very serious and definitely a safety risk at home. But IKEA chest drawers and dressers are actually safe to use when assembled according to the assembly instruction and attached to the wall using the restraints provided in the packaging of these products. And sometimes that's true as well. When you're assembling your product, you might find some pieces that are actually important, but you don't know. You just feel like, I don't think I want to put this on. I don't think this is necessary. But then again, that could actually is definitely there for a reason, and it could be for your own safety purposes according to the kit. So it's always important to pay attention to that as well. And of course, after this incident as well, IKEA has come forward to apologize and also said that it will raise awareness of the hazard of furniture tipping over, and the best way to prevent any further incidents like this is to secure the furniture to the wall. And of course, our condolences to the family that lost the 2 children, and also to everyone purchasing IKEA products. Do pay very close attention to the kit and make sure you use all the parts that they provide, and just to ensure your own safety and your loved ones at home. And moving on to Samsung, they are planning to unveil a flagship of smartphones on August 13.
I'm curious what's the flagship here. And they have finally set the launch date and the venue of its upcoming smartphones. It's called the Galaxy Note 5 and the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. So far, Galaxy Edge has been receiving a lot of positive feedback so far, and that they've come up with the new models. And then Samsung has moved up to the launch of the Note 5 from the traditional September release to take this California-based Apple's new iPhone, and always the rival Apple has to be mentioned.
Of course. And actually, just yesterday we were talking about how Xiaomi is sort of overtaking the smartphone business
Right.
in this region, as well as Huawei as well. And I think that sort of also spurred Samsung, that sort of scared them, intimidated them, and made them feel like, okay, we need to do something about this, because these other new brands that are coming up are actually doing so well. They're selling more smartphones than Samsung or even Apple have been doing for the first half of the year. So I think it's time for Samsung to also innovate as well, come up with some new products, not just changes in terms of appearance or how slim the phone is, but also in terms of the operating software and making it more user-friendly for the consumers.
For sure.
And I think a lot of older generation as well are starting to switch to smartphones to keep up with their children, or just to have the technology with them. So it's very important that they come up with very easy software that is easily used by both the younger or the older generation.
All right.
And moving on to India, we have quite an interesting news, because according to what we have here in Times of India, it says that Indians are in no mood to rescue the yellow metal, although its price has dropped so much. And I think it's definitely quite a shocking news, because the price of gold has gone down, but the shopkeepers actually have not reported a spike in people coming in to purchase the gold, unlike the year 2013, when they actually saw a lot of people, a record number of people, rushing to the store and purchasing gold as soon as the prices started to drop.
Well, the value of gold in India country, as well as including Sri Lanka, it values a lot, especially when it comes to wedding and a certain traditional occasions. A lot of families do purchase gold, and it is a sort of a surprising news that there in India, because of the drop in the gold value, they sort of stopped buying, and especially after sort of China dumped gold Indian, they have they lost the mood to even to rescue this yellow metal, and China revealed that 57% increase in the gold reserves from 2009, and their taste and their appetite for gold from China, it's also very good. But then they have also wait after it also important record volumes in 2013, and the fast rising of stock prices, and also slowing economic and in Beijing's anti-corruption drive, which has sort of deterred some from the making conspicuous luxury buys, and has also diverted money away from the bullion as well.
And they've also attributed this incident to this year's Hindu calendar, which apparently has fewer auspicious dates, and I think that's actually a very good reason, because usually when they purchase gold, it's either when you're getting married or you're getting engaged, or there has to be some sort of occasion going on. Of course, they do also buy gold for investment reasons, or just to sort of stock up to pass on down the generations, because that is part of their culture. But because it could also be because people are not ready to get married yet. We do know that the age of getting married has been increasing further and further, from the 20s to mid-20s, now late 20s or even early 30s. And that could also be a factor that Indians have started slowing down a lot when it comes to buying gold. And moving on to something about ASEAN. It seems ASEAN markets are being more open to foreign distribution in this region. And before this, it used to be pretty close, pretty uptight, especially when it comes to regulatory changes. And there were a lot of barriers for foreign ministries to come in, and the cost was very high to set up their businesses here. But that is apparently changing. which is definitely a good thing for ASEAN.
Well, we have a lot of trade agreements going on, and for sure, to be able to come as a single market in ASEAN, opening markets for foreign distribution is definitely a good sign. And they're also doing this for retail mutual funds. And but as much as this is changing, but it is also important that the Philippines has recently allowed the feeder unit investment trust funds, while Malaysia also has been losing the foreign ownership restrictions as well. And talking about Indonesia, the foreign managers with the local presence can look to foreign banks for distribution, and the new entrants can use both local and the foreign banks in the country. In Indonesia, to set up the foreign banks is very difficult because you have to go through a lot of procedures
That's
and
right.
then agreement. But then the local was always easier. But it is also good that they are opening up for foreign investors and to deal with them. Perhaps it will open more platforms.
And it seems that Indonesia and Philippines are heading the effort here in terms of opening up to foreign managers to come in. And hopefully more countries will join in the bandwagon, and ASEAN will be more open to other countries coming in and contributing to our economy. And we will take another short break. When we come back, we will bring you to the socio-cultural side of Southeast Asia.
ASEAN Dailies. First and foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hello and welcome back to the final segment of our ASEAN Daily for this morning. You're listening to Gowri.
And Grace here.
And we have some very, very sad news for all you clubbers out there. Apparently, it's end of a clubbing era in KL as Zouk quits Jalan Ampang.
Well, it sounds very sort of tragic to hear all
Very
that
tragic.
because Zouk has been a very happening place for youngsters especially, but this month marks the end of the era for the sort of our local landmark, and with the next month to set a new beginning of the renowned night spot venue as to relocate the sort of lifestyle nexus. And the track here stands for taste, release, experience and celebrate.
And track will be the new venue for Zouk that they will be moving to. And they've been here at Jalan Ampang for about 11 years. So of course, there are so many clubbers, tourists, feature artists that have flocked there over the years. And like you briefly mentioned that it was a landmark just now, and I think it could be true. Everyone knew where Zouk was, and they just knew how to get there, no matter what they knew or didn't know. And it seems that a lot of international sensations, including Hartwell, who is quite a renowned DJ, was also there a few years back, and also came back last September. And they've had so many big acts. They have sort of become the place for clubbing when it comes to KL. That's the place that everyone flocked to. And of course, their manager also said that they strive to be the best club in KL, which I don't know if they were the best club in KL, but they were definitely one of the best that everyone enjoyed going to.
And it has attracted so many foreigners. When foreigners do come to Malaysia for visiting, they also don't miss out the chance to visit Zouk after all. So it was the attraction point, but then it'll be replaced by another sort of place. So hope that perhaps this month the Zouk will open a celebration or sort of the party, and so look out for this moment, youngsters.
Definitely, the opening date is to be confirmed, but as soon as it's confirmed, we will make sure that you are the first to know about it. And moving on to China, we have a Chinese librarian who steal artwork worth 17 million, and he replaced them with fake artworks.
And well, it has to be Chinese again here, sad to say. But then, the librarian at the Chinese university, he stole the precious 17th and the 20th century pieces of Chinese art, and he got away for years by replacing them with the fakes. And it's so hard to even stealing, but then he also thought of as replacing them with the fakes. And it was only to find out that his fakes looked so real that they were later stolen and replaced with the new fakes.
So according to the security here, it's actually not very tight, and it was very easy for him to just remove the artwork and replace it with a new one. And I think this art gallery in the Guangzhou Academy of Fine Arts, all the students and professors could just borrow artwork like they're just borrowing books. They could just go in and say, hey, I want to borrow this. I'm going to return it in a few days, in a few weeks. So as soon as he borrowed it, he got somebody to make a fake one, and he would just come back and put it, and nobody noticed it for so long. And it seems that he used all the money, which came close to 34 million yuan, and he used the money to buy apartments and other artworks as well.
That's a lot of money, Gowri, there.
And I think he has massive, massive love for art, which he used in a wrong way.
Well, there could be another question, because he is caught for stealing all this artwork. But then, would there be any other people who did steal this artwork from the library as well? Because, like it says, the security wasn't tight enough, and then there is a possibility or chances that are provided for maybe students or even lecturers to steal all these art pieces and then swap with the fake ones.
That's right. And moving on, we also have a festival that's happening, and that is our ASEAN BL Rock Pop Soul competition that is coming to the city of Vietnam, and it's one of the very rare ones that they will be hosting. And
that's good news. And it is presented by the Vietnam's Music and Art Education and in association with the Trinity College London and also Boombox Entertainment. And this musical event is aimed to youth under age of 30 from 6 countries, including Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei, and Vietnam. It looks like ASEAN is it's just a start to having a lot of festivals, and it attracts a lot of youngsters especially. And this is very positive news. And in fact, the winner of this music competition, because it attracts a lot of youngsters, of course there will be prizes, and then the winner will receive the prize worth up to $25,000 and other prizes from Trinity College and the BMBX Entertainment. And the final round will take place on the September 7th.
Oh, thank you, Grace, for all that information. Hopefully, we will get a lot of participation for our ASEAN BL Rock and Pop Soul competition. And before we wrap things up, of course, Liverpool FC is in Malaysia. They arrived a few days back, and yesterday they held a meet and greet session at Paradigm Mall in the subway. And we tried to go there and see them, but it was really packed, a lot of people, so we didn't really manage to get a photograph with them. Of course, the friendly match against Malaysia will be happening tonight at 8:45 at the Bukit Jalil Stadium. So I bet all your Liverpool fans will be there. So drive safe and take care of your belongings. And also there might be a massive jam as well around that area. So to listen to us further, of course, we will be back next Monday at 8 o'clock with more news from Southeast Asia. And you can always leave us any feedback or comments on our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the daily podcasts.
And then do visit us, our website, durianasian.com. And when you're on the go, do download our app, Durian ASEAN app on your phone, and listen to us at Durian ASEAN.